Okay, let's talk about doubles. So I just want to start off the video by saying I hate left doubles. If we're being completely honest, left doubles are my least favorite thing to do on flag, but I think that left side is extremely important as a color guard member to be extremely well-rounded. So we're gonna do the left side today, and we're gonna work on the left side, and we're gonna learn the technique for the left side. But if you find yourself getting to the left side and you're like, damn, I really don't want to do this left side, try to power through, try to go through it, and make sure that you understand the technique enough to where you can work on it day to day to day. Because left side is always gonna feel awkward because it's just such an unused, most likely part of your body, because we don't really work with it that much through choreography. We do a lot of things on the right hand just naturally in this activity. So the left side is gonna be harder for a lot of us. So it's not just you, it's all of us, don't worry. So now we're gonna go ahead and start with that right hand, about a dollar bill into the silk, like what we do for singles, and then left hand over. And if you're learning this double, you most likely have an understanding of how to do singles already. If you don't, I do recommend going to find a tutorial on singles, because I'm not gonna break down the exact toss technique per se. I'm gonna break down how to take your single to a double. So now, for the single, remember that we push into that floor, and then we lift straight up. There are two separate actions. You have a push and a lift. And with the single, there's a little bit of a swing on the bottom that kind of weights the flag. So you want to feel that swing and really get used to that. And you can kind of try that with your pull a couple times, going swing, 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 and swing up, and really feel the weight of the equipment. And you're probably standing here like moving your flag around like, why the hell am I doing this right now? But it's important to really understand when you need to let go of the flag for it to go straight up and launch the fastest that it can go. Because if I am swinging and I'm letting go too soon, my toss is not going to rotate around. And then vice versa, if I hold on too long, my toss is going to track and be too slow, same thing. So that's happy medium of the swings to make it launch directly upwards and keep going. So make sure you understand that little swing, and you can keep doing that on your own right now. If you still don't understand it, or if you're still having trouble with it, really swing and feel that silk lift up. So now, instead of doing this and swinging, we replace that with a push. And that's what's going to start the action of the double now. And now you push on 8 and you're going to shoot that right hand up on 1, and it's going to go ahead and swing all the way down and swing all the way up, and it's going to rotate twice, and then you're going to catch on 4. So you're going to go 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So now a lot of people do not do their doubles from there. A lot of people don't just stand here and then they're just like this. A lot of times we have a carve on the front of it, and it makes the double a lot easier. So we're gonna go ahead and learn the carve version right now too, and the up and over version right now as well, just in case you do either version. It will really help you kind of get used to that double, and you'll have a lot of extra power leading into that double so that you can get used to it. Then you can go back to the double that I just did. So now we're gonna start at eye level. That right hand, get your silk, put your hand in front of it, and then grab back just like that. Left hand's gonna be at half, and it's gonna be right at that eye level. Or if you're wearing glasses, glasses level. I guess you would still have eyes if you had glasses. Like, I still have eyes behind my glasses. That's fine. Okay, so we're here, and we're gonna cut straight across, and we're gonna go 7, and then we're gonna go to our dip that we just did for our crazy double on count 8. So I go 5 and 6, and 5, 6, 7, 8. And I just do a little carve, notice. And I'm not doing it like this. I'm cutting straight across and coming straight down. So now this cut across and this straight down motion is what leads the power into the double. So it's really important that you're not doing this, this, and this all choppy. It's one smooth, quick motion. Carve and up to go into that double. So now you utilize all the things I've talked about already, that push and that lift and the swing, and now you combine it with that carve. And we're gonna start the carve on 7, 8, and we're gonna toss on 1 just like normal. 5 and 6, and 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome. So if you tried that with me just now, your double probably got a lot easier. Like a lot easier. And that's good. That's what you want to feel, because you're using momentum to gather the swing. So now, to kind of tie it back into the other double that we do, when you go here and you go to 7, when you drop down to 8, you are going right back down to that exact same position. You're going back to neutral. You know what I mean? So you want to make sure that you're hitting this neutral and starting the toss from here. You're not going here and then being like up here to do the toss. You go right back down to that neutral. Up, neutral, and up. So now you need to kind of split your mind a little bit and figure out where the disconnect is happening between going 7, 8 and just going directly from this 8 and up. Is it that you're not pushing enough? Is it that after you push, your right hand's going up too slow? Kind of start thinking about that. And you can try that on your own a couple times right now and try to think, okay, well, why does my double work when I do this carve, but it doesn't work when I'm just standing still? So I'm gonna tell you a couple different habits of why the things could be happening. So first of all, when I push for this normal double, I'm already gonna wanna start lifting my right hand. Because I think of tosses and because I associate tosses with power and speed, just like most of us do, it's gonna make me wanna use my muscle, and that's gonna make me want to use my entire body to toss the double. But that's actually gonna slow my toss down. So if I use my whole body to toss my double, I'm gonna do the same technique for the next couple of tosses that I do. I'm just gonna keep that consistent, push and lift. But I'm gonna move my body in different ways. So if I lift my left shoulder and I push down, when I push, it's gonna push my flag back and it's gonna send my double this way, and it's just not gonna be pretty. And you can kind of see it's in some crazy plane because the way I'm pushing. So now, vice versa, on the right shoulder, if I dip extra and I dip that shoulder in, when I go to toss, I'm not gonna rotate and go up like you're supposed to. I'm actually gonna start sweeping out super far, and then your double's gonna look like this, and then that's gonna be happening. So you wanna make sure that you are at this super steep angle. It all starts from this push. And if your school or your organization doesn't utilize a push, and if your school or your organization doesn't utilize a push, that's totally fine. It doesn't matter. You don't have to do the crazy push to make the toss happen, but you do want to start it with that push. You want to initiate. You don't have to drive it crazy like I do and like I do with my schools, but you do have to start it with that push. So make sure you're pushing straight down, and then from that push, that lift is happening almost immediately. And I emphasis on almost, because if you do it at the same time, this will happen, and it'll just go crazy. So that's why I mean almost together. And I'll show you how quick I have to do my hands to make this double happen. 5 and 6, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you see? And that was even a little bit under rotated. But do you see how quick my hands had to move? I literally had to go 5 and 6, 5, 6, 7, 8, down, up. And my flag had to be out of my hands within an and count. That's how quick your equipment has to travel. And this is a long piece of equipment. It's not like a rifle or a saber where it's kind of smaller, so it's gonna be a little bit easier to launch into the air. Flag is hard. It's hard to get that flag to launch into the air. So make sure you're feeling that push down. And again, if you're getting to this point of the video and you still can't do the double, it's okay. Feel that swing. Really utilize that swing and get used to the weight of this equipment. So now a couple of detail things as you're working through your tosses. Make sure you are not lifting your feet. This is also going to slow down your toss. If I am going into my release and I'm going up with my release, but then something else is also pushing up at a different speed than my hand is, it's not gonna work together to push energy, it's actually gonna counteract. And I'll show you. I'm gonna go 5 and 6, 5, 6, 7, and up. That's the normal way without moving the feet. And now with the feet, I'm gonna go 5, 6, 7, and up. And you literally see it slow down my toss because I lifted those heels. So I think when I push, I ground my feet. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking push my heels down with that hand. So I want you to kind of imagine that too as we do this next double. You're gonna ground those heels down to the floor as you push. 5 and 6, 5, 6, ground those heels in 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's what you really want to feel. If you're still having trouble jumping with your double, because I do know that's a very, very common issue, then you can also try raising your toes. This is a Katie method. Katie actually told me about this one. So lift your toes, and that'll really help keep you not having to move around. And then also you can't lift up onto your heels or onto your toes if your toes are off the ground. So you want to make sure that you're lifting those toes up, and then same thing, let's try a double. 5 and 6, and 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4. See how I couldn't even move my feet. I couldn't even move my feet to get my flag because it tracked a little bit. So that's honestly a good tip too, if you're tracking or if you're having issues with your flag tracking and you're doing this under your toss, lift up those toes and get under your toss and stay consistent into that catch. So if I release my double and I go pass flat like this, my knuckles are now pointing this way. That means literally my toss is gonna fly that way. And then vice versa, if I release too soon, my toss is now gonna launch that way. So I'll show you. I go 5 and 6, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4. I did the same technique. I pushed and I lift, but my fingertips were literally just like this. And this is a small issue too, because my fingertips only have to be like literally like 1 degree off for my flag to track, literally. I'm not gonna even do it as extensive as I did last time. I'm just gonna get those fingertips straight up, like even so slightly, and my flag went like a couple steps over. And then same thing, if I release too soon, my flag is gonna travel that way now. So I'm gonna release too soon, I go 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1. And now my flag's over there, again, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1. See, release too soon, and my flag tracks that way. So you wanna make sure you're releasing when that flag is perfectly flat and those knuckles are straight up. So now let's go ahead and try it with that carve again, 7, 8, and 1. Here we go. 5 and 6, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Feel what you felt in that double, and now let's try it just normal, no carve. 5 and 6, 5, 6, 7, 8, and up, 2, 3, 4. Cool. So again, if you can't do just the normal standing one, it's okay. It is hard. It's gonna take a second to get used to without that carve, especially if you already know doubles or you already know singles or a different kind of toss with that carve already. It's gonna be extra hard to do it from standing, but it's definitely doable. So now the other version of it, I can cut straight across at that eye level, or I can go here and I can kind of do a row the boat motion. So I can go over and down into those hips instead of going straight across. So now I'm gonna try that method. And the same exact thing, I go right back down to that counting. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, grab. I'm gonna grab. And that one was a little bit high, and this one is gonna actually push energy into your toss because your hand is coming from over. Because I'm doing this, it's coming over and pushing all the way down. It's gonna add more energy because you're having that shoulder add power. Whereas right here, it's mostly the wrist and the elbow adding power. Even though you should be using your shoulder, it's most likely the elbow and wrist just naturally. So now let's try the up and over one again, and now back off just a little bit. 5 and 6, and 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome, cool. So those are 3 different versions. Oh my God, I'm tripping over my silk. Those are 3 different versions of this double that you can kind of work on and do. I would honestly recommend doing the cut across eye one first, and then doing the up and over, and then doing the standing one. And honestly, you can try the standing one and just see at first if you're like, oh, I'm actually really good at the standing one. I can do it just like this. It's totally fine. That's awesome. You don't even have a need for the carve or the up and over. You can just do it straight from there. So now let's go ahead and try it on the left side. So now, just like we did for the right side, we're gonna go ahead and have the right hand over at half, left hand is under, a dollar bill in, and we're just gonna go ahead and push down to the floor. Make sure that left hand is not moving yet. It's staying still in the place that it needs to be. Then you can start lifting it up to flat and kind of getting used to that swing, just like we did on the right side, that swing, swing, swing up, and grab. This is gonna feel awkward, I pinky promise. It feels awkward on the left. It might not for you, and you might just be like, I don't even know what you're talking about, Robert, it feels fine. But for me, it feels absolutely atrocious, and I hate it. But it's okay, because we wanna know things on the left so that we can do things on the left when we need to. So now, I'm gonna go ahead and start at the eye level, just like that. And remember too that not the tab is in front of your nose, but like an inch or two over from the tab is in front of your nose at that eye level. Now from here, we're gonna go ahead and cut straight across, right over the head, and then we bring this down into that 8, and then we go push, 8 and, release 1, and then we're gonna be catching right on that count 4. So we go 5 and 6, oh, we have that hand in front, 5 and 6, and 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4. So now if you're struggling with that cut across one and it's just so awkward to do on the left, try the up and over one. Because remember, that up and over one adds so much power to my release. So now let's try that version. We go here, we go up and over, and we kind of row, and then we push straight down to the floor, all that power from the shoulder to release into our toss. Here we go. 5 and 6, and 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome, cool. So if you found more success with that up and over one, then keep working with that one. Whichever one you're finding success with, stick with it, and then utilize it so that you can work towards the standing one. And that's kind of the concept that you want to keep with doubles. I don't need you to know all of them, you know what I mean? And you probably don't even want to know all of them, but you definitely want to know the standing one, because there's nothing worse than going somewhere and then all of a sudden you're like, oh crap, I have a standing double in my auditions. I've never done this before. I can only do doubles with the carve, and now you're stressed out about auditions. So you want to make sure that you do know different versions of tosses. You're not just going into them only one way. So let's go ahead and try that left side now, just from standing. Same thing, you want to start from that push, super heavy, utilize that shoulder that we have from that row and the up and over, utilize it as you push down. And don't be so aggressive with your shoulder like I was, how I had it up here just now. Don't have your shoulder up there. You want to keep it pressed down, pressed low, and elongated neck. That way you can push directly down with that armpit and elbow. Here we go. Or sorry, armpit and shoulder. Here we go. 5 and 6, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go. 5 and 6. 5. Sir, just leave. So here we go on that left side. 5 and 6, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then see, mine I honestly released a little bit too soon, so my toss went that way at that time. So you want to make sure you're holding on longer so your knuckles go straight up. Let's try it one more time. 5 and 6 and 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that one went forward obviously a little bit because of wind, but again, make sure that you're stretching that arm all the way up. So when I release my double too, I'm going to that full soft. So yeah, that's doubles. I really hope you did try the left side. I know it's hard, I know it's challenging. Everything on the left side is gonna be challenging, but the more you work that hand out, the easier it's gonna be in the long run, and then you don't have to go through that like, oh, I hate the left side type thing. And if you're watching this video and you're like, I love the left side, then just kind of ignore everything I'm saying and just you keep doing you. But yeah, if you have any questions at all about any part of this exercise, or you just want me to check the progress of your double or just check your toss in general, go ahead and send me a message on Instagram. Thanks.